Grayzone Warfare just got its biggest update yet. New gear, new mechanics, and an even deeper tactical sandbox to get lost in. Whether you're holding the line, going full sneak attack, or watching your squad wipe from a single bad call, you're in it. And on today's episode, we're diving headfirst into the fog of war with someone who knows it better than almost anyone. TGxAltair himself, the man helping shape the community from the inside out. Grab your drink, load your mags, and settle in. This is High Proof Lounge.
In a world where pixels meet passion, where lag is the enemy, and victory is fueled by questionable decision-making, three legends rise from the depths of digital depravity, armed only with their wits, their mics, and an irresponsibly high alcohol tolerance. Meet your hosts, the men, the myths, the mildly functional degenerates. Nickelodeon.
Let's go!
The leader, the host, the man who once rage quit so hard, his router called 911.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold fast.
Let's go, boys.
The wild card, the agent of chaos. He's got an M4 in one hand and a bottle of something highly flammable in the other. Rump thump.
Giggity.
Rump thump. The strategist, the enforcer. The guy who still insists it's not camping, it's tactical positioning.
Quit your bitching, dude.
Together, they bring you High Proof Lounge, the podcast where gaming and absolutely zero responsible decision-making collide in a glorious dumpster fire of entertainment. Grab a drink, turn your volume up, and for the love of all things holy, somebody mute Nick before the team kills us again.
Welcome back to High Proof Lounge, the show where tactics meet tequila, and the only thing deadlier than our aim is our opinions. I'm Nickelodeon Gun, and with me as always, the Danger Duel themselves, Hold Fast and Rump Thump. And on today's episode, we've got backup. Joining us is a legend behind the scenes and on the battlefield, TGxAltair. He's the community GM team lead for Grayzone Warfare, coordinating events, rallying squads, and helping shape this insane world we all love to get lost in, Grayzone Warfare. Altair, welcome to the lounge, man.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here. It's going to be an awesome episode.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Super excited. So the boys absolutely love Grayzone Warfare. We've been part of the whole Grayzone experience since pre-order. Before it came out, they were like, this new game's coming out, and I was like, I don't like it. I'm a COD player, but...
Yeah, I've been following it since the original reveal, which I think was, 2023?
Yeah, I think so. 23?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, yeah, we wanted to sit down with you and kind of go over some of the community side of things. I know we just actually, we kind of skipped through a video that you did with Madfinger Games. That was actually really cool. You and...
Yeah, the game access I think it was in Beardo.
Yeah. We were
cool.
lucky enough to be invited over there. So
that's pretty awesome.
Managed to meet the team and, to have a look around the office and corner a couple of people with some ideas and make new friends and meet people we've spoke to online in person finally, and
that's
see
awesome.
the city. And it was all very overwhelming and very, very enjoyable at the same time.
I'm jealous. I want one of those jackets.
Yeah, those
Oh,
jackets.
you can thank Yoda for that. That's all.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a Yoda jacket.
Those things are awesome.
Those are so cool. I love that they have like the Grayzone patch on the arms and stuff. I was like, dude, where do I pre-order? Take all my money. Like, I got to have a jacket.
He was walking around the convention, man. He had so many spare patches. He had them velcroed everywhere, and he was just tearing them off, giving them to people. There's just so many spare patches, and he was just everybody wanted one. Yeah,
they look awesome, dude. They look awesome.
Yeah, they're really comfortable as well. Actually, the like the torso is quite thin, so it's nice and breathable. It's really comfortable. So yeah, and they got the logo on the back and all that. So yeah, I was very lucky to get one of them off Yoda. So thank you very much, Yoda.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I was like, dude, where the hell did they get those jackets? That was so cool. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of jump into this a little bit here. So we're just gonna let our viewers kind of get to know you a little bit. So, obviously, you're the community GM, team lead for Grey Zone Warfare, coordinating events, coming up with fun ideas and stuff like that. So, a little bit about you first. How did you come up with the name TGxAltair?
And are we pronouncing it right?
You can pronounce it however you want. I've many different accents to it, many different ways. I'm sure mine gets it wrong all the time as well. But basically, Assassin's Creed used to be my favorite game series.
That's what back in the day. It was
from. So back when the first one came out, I fell in love with it, and then subsequent ones after that. So obviously Altair is the main guy. So I put a lot of hours into that game, and then the series over the years. So I just adopted his name as a gamer tag, which kind of stuck. And then the TG part is when I used to be a member of Tactical Gaming back in the day. For
very cool.
Years and years, probably 7 or 8 years, more maybe. So they used to have TG, and then instead of these people used to have hyphens and underscores and stuff, and then they kind of just they made it a TG and then a small X, and then everyone's gamer tag. So there's a couple of TG vets, Excalibur and people like that are playing Grey Zone at the minute. So it's nice to see them around, from the old days. I think it's still going, but that's where it came from. And then obviously, I had console gamer tags and all that kind of stuff to that, and I just kind of used it everywhere, really, Twitch and whatever else. So it just kind of stuck, and now I don't really want to change it.
Exactly. No, it's very cool. I like it. It's very creative. Mine used to be SpongeBob, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna brand myself, I gotta get out of that.
Yeah.
So mine's a nod to the 90s. My favorite, growing up as a freaking 90s kid that loved like SpongeBob and all the cartoons. So mine, I had to think of something tactical without getting sued either. So Nickelodeon gun just kind of fit. It was perfect.
Yeah. It's just hit us there. I've just got the reference there now. Yeah.
I get it every now and then.
I like it actually. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Some people will say it out loud a couple times and be like, "Wait, is that supposed to be Nickelodeon?"
Just cracks me up every time. It's so fucking funny.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have an accent, obviously. So where are you from?
I'm from the northeast of England. Where all the peasants are, basically.
The peasants.
Yes, it's me up in
awesome.
up in the north in the mud huts and that. Yeah.
I love it.
Nice.
We just got Rump Dump in here. Rump, are you here?
I am here. Hi.
There he is. There's our buddy. All right. So how did you first hear about Grey Zone Warfare?
I found out through some streamers. So people like Studdy and Westy and Tactical Britain, those kind of people got access to just before it released last year, about Marchish time, I think it was. They got some, them and a few other people got access to bits and pieces, and they could play like the early release. And then I used to play a lot of Arma and DayZ and Ghost Recon, and it kind of felt like a bit of a love child across several different games I liked and different types of shooters. So then I thought, I'll give it a little look, and then realized I had a 2080 Super, and then thought, maybe not. In a 8th gen Intel, and I was like, oh right, maybe not, and then watched a bit more. So I thought I'll watch more, give it a shot, and then ended up getting it and buying a 4070 just for the game, 4070 Super. So that was it was an expensive game, to get into.
Just a tad bit.
But yep, and
I
then,
know the feeling.
So I kind of jumped in 2-footed, and then after about a week, just fell in love with it, and kind of never looked back. So I got quite lucky. I could have not liked it, and it would have been a very expensive
a really good PC.
mistake. Yep. But yeah, as it turns out, it all worked out in the end. So yeah, I ended up finding out through some streamers, and then giving it a go, and just fell in love. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what's been your favorite community event that you've created so far?
It has to be the first one we ever did, which was Altair's airdrops. Just cool. Because it's our signature event, and it reminds me of the old DayZ days and stuff. I used to run a DayZ server, and we did a similar thing where we would drop gear around the map through like scripts and bits and pieces. Obviously, we couldn't do that here, so it was me running out and dropping a backpack and hoping somebody found it in the early days, and then it's kind of developed into this kind of beast over the course of 12 months. But I'd have to say that there's some other very nice ones in there which I'm looking forward to trying. Now we've got more tools available. But I'd say that one's close to me heart, just because it was the first one we ever did, and it was it takes us back to other games I've done similar things in, and it's nice to give away free stuff, of course.
When did you go from like Gray Zone player to the community GM? Like, was there any like slow movement or?
So it's kind of linked to airdrops actually. So what happened was I had an idea of. You'll know if you play DayZ, the helicopter crashes that have loot and bits and pieces, and then some servers on PC you've like scripted like airdrops coming in through planes and whatnot. So I kind of used that as inspiration, and the heli crashes, and I just asked in chat one day, and I was like, would it be fun if we went out and started hiding loot in the world, and people could try and find it and fight over it, sort of thing, and then people were like, oh yeah, that might be fun. And then, of course, back in the days when Alki was a mod, that's how long ago it was.
Oh, wow.
Back when Alki was just a mod, I turned around and I messaged him, and I was like, look, is this something that I'd be allowed to do? Again, being new to the game and not known, I didn't want to kind of, step on any toes or anything like that. And he was like, yeah, go for it. And then I did
awesome.
that for a couple of weeks, and then tried to come up with a few other things. Started to kind of get people helping out. Started to get a little bit of a mini following going on. People were looking out for them every weekend. And after a few weeks, Rick, the communications director, popped up out of nowhere, and I was like, why does he want to talk to me? I was a little bit. What have I done? Why am I? Yeah, I was like a little bit like, ooh, okay, what am I getting wrong for? And he was just like, look, man, I've seen what you're doing. I really like it. I want to help out as much as I can. I want to push it further. Do you want to be a community leader? And then I was like, yes, absolutely. What is that? What? Yes, but what is it? Yeah. And so I became a community leader, which was great. And then it just kind of snowballed from then. Then as it got a little bigger, more people wanted to help out. So then, the guys who originally jumped in to help out, we had people like Gage, Reva, Brick, Teamsy. They wanted to help out, and then Rick was like, look, you all want to do the same thing. Altair was kind of, first, why don't you all work as a team? And like he run it. And then, so the GM team was born. And then we've just went from there. We've had, GMs come and go over the year, over the 12 months, but those were those guys originally stepped up. And then, we've had SWAT and Ty and stuff come in at a later period, and people have stepped back through commitments and whatever, which is totally fine. We're all volunteers, I get it. But yeah, so they were the original guys who kind of formed the team, and then we just went from there, and this just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, that's kind of how the GMs were born, because other people stepped up to help.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. When you think about it, you have a game that is just starting out, and then you're asked by one of the top people up in Gray Zone, Madfinger, to like come on in and help create events to help make the gaming experience more immersive and more fun for everybody that plays it. I think it really did help. The community events help kind of the stall part of it, as you go through, because we have friends that play Gray Zone Warfare and they finish the game within 2 days, like the updates. And I'm like, dude, you are not going to have anything to do. Exactly. I'm like, you're not going to have anything to do for another, however long it takes to drop a new season. So,
yeah. Well, that's very kind. Thank you. That's very kind.
Cool.
I will shout out other people who helped out. We had Blue 4, who coincidentally as well also now works for MFG. He used to, when we become more sophisticated, and it wasn't just me dropping a bag. We realized the bodies last an hour, so I'd load up my character with gear, and then we'd go out into the jungle, and he'd have to execute me to drop the to drop the gear because there was no respawn mechanic. So Blue's job was to shoot me in the head in the early days, which so thank you very much for that.
What a legend!
So, yeah, so and then he'd have a friend to shoot him, and then the friend would shoot. It was like a chain of executions we'd have
hilarious.
to do to keep dropping stuff in. So and of course we've had other people jump in and volunteers help. We've had hundreds of volunteers, so I'd never be able to name them all by direct name, but thank everybody who's ever jumped in and helped. So
I'm here.
Yeah.
I did. I think it was like 2 or 3 months in. I think I volunteered for one of those, and it was on. I don't remember where we were exactly, but we were on a hill, and we had to throw smoke. And I had a bag loaded with stuff, and the objective was to push Mithras. So I think it was like Crimson against Mithras. And it was a cool event. It was really cool. No one ended up pushing us, but our old teammate ended up getting his ass kicked from Crimson when it was his turn. But they were still fun. They were very engaging. So it's definitely helped, I think, bring more life into the game because it's giving it more objective.
No, thank you. That's very kind. I'm glad it. I'm glad it fills some gaps in. That's what we're trying to do. It's all about creating player interaction. We have a little kind of document which we hold all of our like modes in. We write ideas up in and all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of we pitched it to MFG so that their guys knew what we were doing. As they brought in new community managers and things. And one of the very first sentences is about. This is all about player interaction. The core of this is about making players interact, whether it's through trading or shooting one another or meeting up to do objectives or exploring, whatever it is. It's all about creating player interaction to hopefully fill, that, as you say, that void that may or may not exist if somebody blasts through the game or if somebody just wants to change a pace or whatever. That's the whole idea is that.
Yeah, so let's dive in deeper into the actual game part. So the latest update, 0.3, was huge. I feel like it was bigger than the Night Ops was. So, Altair, from your perspective, what's the most game-changing feature for the community in this update?
From my perspective, having custom servers is massive. Obviously, the GMs have now got custom servers for events. Which is a dream for us. So a little bit of a selfish one there. That tool allows us to elevate our game, so much. But other things that are just in the game, being able to hand in tasks anyway is, great now. Being the cops are a great feature. They're doing exactly what they were supposed to do. They're giving people a get out when they or a respawn point or a resupply point. They're generating PvP passively. So I'd say from a GM's point of view, the servers for sure, and then I'd say the cops and the new task system being able to hand stuff in. They're definitely massive improvements in my opinion.
Yeah, I've loved being able to turn tasks in from anywhere. Like obviously the hand in ones
such
you have
a game
to
changer.
Yeah, the
being
handed
able to
ones you
hand
still
over
have to go.
missions,
But that makes sense.
cops make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Not having to take a bird all the way back alone is allowing a lot of the. It allows a lot of individuals to complete these missions. Like they said, they complete them in 2 days. They grind it, and that's because you're able to turn those missions in remotely, unless it's a direct handover, turn it into Handshake or turn it into Gunny, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like that helps a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we had we were going through the preview, but the before it released, and we were like testing stuff out, and Tucson came in and completed the start of town in 40 minutes, and we were like, what?
Holy crap.
He just absolute machine completed the start of town in 40 minutes, and we were like, yep, it's faster now. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot faster.
That's crazy.
Before we even jumped in, he was like, I've completed the start of town in 40 minutes. And we're like,
Wow.
okay, wow, it's faster. Yep, okay.
Yeah, I can't do that. I cannot do that, especially with the boss over in Namthaven. He gets me every single time I go over there. Every single time. He's mean.
Hey, you.
Oh,
Yeah. Blank Yamada. I'm like, what did he just say to me? Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So when it comes to your events, like, how do you design the events that you give the balance between the fun, the immersion, and the total chaos that takes place? Like, how does that go about?
So some are inspired by other things. So obviously, I mentioned before, like airdrops was inspired by like heli crashes in DZ and having a point of loot for people to try and find and fight over. You've got other ones like we have you have certain games where you can only use you have snipers only modes and shotgun only modes. Well, we created gun run to try and mimic that. We have King of the Hill, and we're working on like a capture the flag kind of thing. We have hostage rescue. So a lot of them are based on other things, but a lot of the other ones are also like of our own minds. We come up with them. So we think of we try and think of what can a player not do. So like right now there's no tasks that involve going to rescue an NPC and escort them out to safety at an extraction point. So we created hostage rescue to give people a chance to do that. There's some which are PvE focused, some which are PvP focused, some which are very, very laid back, like the trade hub is very much a let's meet up, let's try and trade things and see what people have got. And then you go all the way to the other end of the scale where you could do King of the Hill or one of our new modes like Horde mode, where it's just absolute chaos. And it's just we try to just kind of cycle through the weeks, if that makes sense. We don't try and do absolute chaos every single week. We'll try and do a structured event like you've got something like hostage rescue, where you've got a hostage you have to protect, but you also have to go and get your hostage from the enemy. Do you attack? Do you defend? Do you So we've had games where people overcommit and then they have to retreat, and there's a lot of planning amongst your team in that. You can't just all just go forward because someone will just come and take your hostage. You can't all just defend because then you won't get your guy back. There's thinking in that one. There's other ones where King of the Hill is just pile into this objective and hold it at all costs, no matter what. And it's just massive gunfights. So there's, we try and cycle between chaos and structure, and then laid back. To give each week to give something a little bit different. But we just sometimes we'll be in the game and we'll just see something, or there'll be a task and we'll think, oh, we can replicate that and we can do something with that, and then we just kind of build it from there, and then see if it's actually doable in game.
That's one thing that I drives me nuts about certain games, like even deader games, like what we've referenced before, like COD. some of that stuff becomes repetitive. It circulates. It's just a never ending thing because it's just they're doing the same thing over and over again. So I appreciate the fact that we are getting different events weekly. It's not always the same thing, because that drives me nuts as a player. I need new. Like, I don't always need new, because sometimes just the same thing is nice, but for events, it's nice to be able to do different things.
Yeah. It's better. It's good for us as well, because we're not, obviously, there's a lot of admin and a lot of planning and a lot of things like that go into it. And some events run themselves. Some events we can post the brief and let players crack on. Some events we have to be on the ground and physically there to orchestrate it. So it helps us as well to kind of have that step in, step out approach. But I mean, we do the same when it comes to servers. Our first events back this weekend just gone. We ran Altair's airdrops, and we gave away close to about $1 million worth of gear.
Damn!
Over 4 hours.
A lot.
But there's
in 4 hours.
But there's no point doing that on custom servers, because nobody can keep it, because the progress doesn't transfer. So so next week, we'll do our events on custom servers. We're going to do we do the main event EU time, then we do after hours US time for PvP. So that'll be on Saturday. And we'll use custom servers for them modes, so people can jump in. There's no gear fear. So we'll alternate. Some PvE modes, they'll be competitive. Who can go out in a custom server with the starter build and rack up the most cash in X time, and then we can give real rewards for that when it's over. And some PvE events will be task based, so there's no point running a custom server. So we dip into that as well. So sometimes it's live, sometimes it's custom. We always try and keep it as fresh as possible.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there's so many different opportunities with the custom server thing. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. And these are just the first iterations. They're only going to get bigger and better as well, which is great.
Love it.
Man, what's the craziest thing during like the community events that you've seen like a squad or each faction do?
I've seen some pretty crazy last stands. In fact, actually, one of the ones would probably be on hostage rescue. I was back when I was in Mithras, so a while ago. I was hostage, and it was getting right to the very, very end of the event, and I think LRI were holding me hostage, and they were shit talking us, and I was getting loads of grief and stuff. I was just a hostage in the corner, and I was getting loads of abuse, and told to do sit-ups and all this kind of stuff, and I was just getting loads of grief and all that. So the LRI guys were having loads of fun, and then out of nowhere, Mithras just breaches the door and does this mad kind of really cinematic rescue. So then, of course, I've just got a knife. Crazy. I think we were I was at like Small Marketplace or something, and my extraction point was India 3, but before it was up on the hill. So the original India 3 out in the hill, out in the field, right next to the lake, and so obviously LRI they got me out, and then LRI started landing in all the way along the route, and put me under fire, and we guys were dropping next to us, and there was grenades going. So the whole way we had to fight our way all the way to the LZ. And then at the very last minute, that's nuts. Very last minute, I had friendlies coming over the top trying to suppress the tree line, and it was full. And then they called the helo in, and then just as I was running to the helo, I started taking shots, and I just got on and got out and survived. So but it was half an hour of just pure Michael Bay action, running through forests and crop fields, so and awesome. Just bullets whizzing past you, and people dropping next to you, and birds landing. It was I wish I'd recorded that as a segment. I was
going to say, do you know if anyone recorded any of it? Because that would have been it.
I'd be able to ask around. I think it was SWAT. I think it was SWAT who came and rescued us. One of the other GMs, and he was the rescue team. And the in true heroic fashion, they stayed behind on the ground, and they were suppressing the tree lines and throwing grenades and everything. And I got on the helo and got out. And I think they just ended up getting swarmed at the end.
Dude, that's so epic.
But that was probably because I was in the middle of it, getting like. And the rule was the hostage isn't allowed to move unless they're instructed to do so. So they had to tell me the whole way, stop, move, come here. So I couldn't just run. They had to physically pull me along and escort me. So it was like, so they'd run off, and I was like, yeah, I'm told us to move. And they'd be like, hello? What are you doing? there's people coming. I'd be like, well, you tell us to move then. So it's like, so it just added more chaos, So I think that's one of the, because I was in the thick of it. That was quite fun.
How can regular players get more involved, whether it's in the event, the role playing, or just contributing to the world itself?
So, some events we ask for volunteers. If we need manpower for something, we post that we'll post that either on our website or on the events news channel in the Discord. So that's the easiest way. Sometimes we have a program which to be honest, we need to advertise more now that I think of it, where we invite people to come up with scenarios or come up with events, and they'll come up with a plan of a game mode or a cinematic mode or whatever it is. And then they hand it over to us, and we take care of all the logistics, the admin, and we'll run it and on their behalf, but it's their idea, it's their baby, and then we'll adapt it to fit, the how the game works and whatnot, in our tools at the time. But I think we've done that 2 or 3 times already, where it's someone in the community's went, oh, I'd really like to run this, and then we've gone ahead and we've discussed it with them. We've come up with briefs and plans, and then we've plugged it in, and we've ran their event for them, just using our resources and our reach, and then people have really enjoyed them. Now we credit them, of course, and say whose idea it is and things like that. And then I think 1 or 2 might have even made it into the regular game modes. So yeah, we if anyone ever has an idea, you can ping me in Discord and DM me or anything like that, and we can hash stuff out. We've got a couple of people discussing stuff with at the minute. So yeah, that's because people might come up with better ideas than us, things that we haven't thought of. So it's always great to use those ideas and let people have a stage to put them on, have a platform to show them off, and then we kind of go from there. Yeah, so that's probably the best way with regards to events and stuff like that.
Which is really nice too, because you're giving the player the ability to actually have input in the game that they're playing, which a lot of companies that are making these games really don't listen to their player base. I mean, we could reference COD again. I mean, it has gone downhill so bad over the last couple of years, and it's nice that Madfinger's taking the player, the actual player in mind when it comes to not only just the actual game itself, but things that are outside of that. Wrapping up our final question for this segment, are there any player-made communities, streamers, or clans that have really impressed you lately?
I think that there's some there's like the hardcores, if you like. There's the people who are in the game all day every day. You've got you got your jarheads, you've got your farmers, you've got your DGs, you've got obviously Ties, GM, SWAT again, another GM, but he doesn't do as many videos these days. You've got your other some of the VIPs who've given really good marketing and coverage. You've just got normal people in the community who don't necessarily hold a title or a role, who are always there, who help out a lot. You got people people who don't necessarily get much chance to play, but they get to they help out a lot with technical stuff. People like Woodverine and things like that. They're in the tech hub, making sure other people's can play. They're fixing other people's problems all the time so they can play. Stuff like that, which nobody notices, nobody sees, nobody nobody really talks about. It's the people who are behind the scenes who are making the cogs turn all the time. Who were like the unsung heroes, really. There's a few communities out there, clans, if you want to, you use the term clans. It's what we traditionally call them. You've got the Faction Hub, you've got Le Mans Gang, there's the Crimson Boys, there's a few CSI ones, LRI ones, things like that. And these groups have got thousands of players in them. So they're not small by any means. And being able to bring those players together and give them a focus and give them something to be a part of it. So it's well done on them for stepping up and doing that,
So with the future of Gray Zone, and you kind of brought this up earlier when you were talking about the events, you're talking about the custom server access. I know myself, when I saw that on the release of you guys showcasing 0.3, I saw the tab, of course, can't get into it. A lot of community wants to know, like, when is this something that's going to be accessible for players? Because like you stated, there's clans that have an extraordinary amount of individuals and where they can hold custom matches themselves. Like, this is something
every day.
to look towards.
So they did allude to it in a very early roundtable last year. They alluded to people being able to rent their own custom servers. For one, it helps server costs. People rent their own. It takes some weight off MFG. But for right now, it's specific creators. And I'm not sure how many creators have them. I know of a couple, but I'm not sure how many in total. And then it's the community gems. So we have 3 gems. So we have the ability to create 3 servers. So when they'll be out for the general public, I'm not sure. I think Rick mentioned something today that's probably closer to 1.0. So you're probably looking at next year at the earliest. But these servers, they're really pushing them. They're really trying to bring new features in, new ideas, capabilities, settings, capacity, things like that. So you never know. It could be earlier, it could be later. It's game dev, so anything can happen. But so far as I'm aware, it's probably a bit further down the line. However,
Right.
I'm always happy to if somebody wants to go into a server and have a look around and use them for a project they're working on. If they've got a video they want to make, or they anything like that. We've had several people contact us and we've booted servers up for them, so they can go into free cam and they can explore the map,
That's
or they
good
can
to
get cinematic shots, so they can test.
The free cam thing.
That's
pretty cool.
It's the great for things like tours on to go around the map with no impunity, with no obstacles and find things for his tac map. They're great for Good Boy to go in and check, do armor testing in a controlled environment. So there's things that they can be really useful for the community to use outside of just jumping in and playing. So if anybody has a project they're working on or anything like that, we're happy to boot things up and let people have a look and see if the tools we have can help them. So they're not, if someone goes, oh well, it's just me and my mates want to have a play. We have to be there to turn them on. We have to physically be home and open the game up and turn them on and things like that. So we probably wouldn't be able to kind of give them away for things like that. But if you've got a project you're working on, or if you want to get some screenshots and bits, things like that, then we're trying to broaden the access for people a bit, so they can also benefit from the tools we have. So hopefully that. I know
That's
people
really
people
cool.
want them now, but hopefully that goes a little way to kind of buying a bit time, so to speak.
Yeah, I forgot where I saw it in a stream. I think it might have been Rick that mentioned they weren't even planning to have the custom servers for streamers or anyone until the middle of 0.3, which it's still very early and not even close to the middle, and they've already managed to get them out to the streamers and the GMs. So
yeah,
at least they're working pretty quick, it seems like.
Yeah, I think they've realized the benefit of them. I think they've realised how much of a useful tool they are, and how much they're going to increase replayability and things like that, and obviously it's a good marketing tool. If you've got these streamers that are, like Bennett started his thing on Fridays, he's trying to get his community in, and so it's a great marketing tool for MFG as well, so it's everybody wins, but they've got them out at a surprising rate, and are improving them already. We've given initial feedback, we've done some internal tests with MFG. Bennett's played, Sinister's played, whoever, there's a couple of other streamers who've booted servers up and done some testing and played about, and that feedback's being acted on like immediately. We've when 3.2 comes out, there's like we fed back straight away, and when the vendor limits are still in the custom servers, like you can't have 126 guys and 260 round clips. Like it's gonna get spicy very quickly. And they were like,
we're gonna hold the golden gun challenge.
Yeah, so they were like, right, yeah, that shouldn't be like that. And then so in 3.2, which hopefully by the time this comes out is being released, that'll be fixed. So the vendors will have no stock limits in custom servers, which is which is going to give people even more freedom to explore and try things. So they're acting on feedback immediately. We found a couple of things that a couple of crashes, a couple of things like that, a couple of bugs, and they're getting sieved out straight away. So they really are prioritizing them, which is from our perspective, which is great to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, like in the next year, I would say, so a year from now, so June of 2026, where do you think Gray Zone's going to be? Like the entire game as a whole?
I didn't when I first started playing, and when I first started kind of getting involved in the community about a year ago, I didn't think it would be this big in a year. And as time goes on, I realized just how much of a masterpiece it will be the more it grows. The content they have planned, that for on the roadmap up towards 1.0, it's gonna, I don't think any game's going to be able to really compete with it in scale, in replayability, in gunplay, and all this kind of stuff. In a year, off the top of my head, I know the next update's lore focused. Obviously, that doesn't mean there's going to not be new guns and armor and things like that. Features there will be. I've forgotten the update after that, but I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be probably unrecognizable. I would say 0.3 is leagues away from 0.1 in a good way.
Oh, yeah.
It's you wouldn't
100%.
recognize 0.1 now. You would go back in and it would just feel sluggish, and it would
it even looks different too.
Yeah,
It's
like they refined it a bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Drastically different from what it was.
Yeah, I think
where
it's
we are right now.
I think it's going to be a completely different game again. Every iteration, it's like a new game. And that's why when I first joined and I realized it wiped every 6 months, I kind of wasn't happy. And then after about 2 or 3 months, I started to understand the reason. And then once the first wipe happened with 0.2, it was like playing a new game again, and it suddenly all makes sense. And the same happened with 0.3. It was like picking up a fresh, brand new game again. And yeah, okay, the locations and some of the tasks and things like that, but it changed so much that it felt new, and I think that's going to happen every 6 months. And so, basically, to answer your question, I can't wait to play 2 new versions of the game in 12 months. I think annoyingly I can't remember what the update after 0.4 is. It might be the Rogue faction update, and if it is, that'll just
I haven't looked at
that'll just be crazy
roadmap for a while. So.
Yeah, I should have done my homework in hindsight, but
I think I remember. I forgot who it was. It might have been Ty in just a regular Gray Zone chat. Said something about 0.4s, like they're revamping the movement completely.
Oh,
which is interesting to see.
That would be interesting. Yeah,
like smoother or quicker, or
like
increase the stamina, because sometimes that can be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, stamina's a little rough. I also wish they would change the aspect of your low ready of the weapon when you're actually moving around, because you're not always going to hold the weapon up all the time.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of conversations about the animations and things like that that are going on at the minute, and I know that they're actively looking into those kind of things. You saw with 0.3 the eye now, if they're injured, they limp away or they bend down and they
been
take.
So cool to watch.
They start being hurt and things like that. So I think things like that are probably going to come. It's just knowing MFG, they'll want to get it right first. They'll want it to be smooth. They'll want it to refine it a bit. So, but Ty may be right. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But Ty may well be right. I'm not sure.
All right, Altair, before we let you go, we've got a little game for you because we know you're from the UK and we want to test just how British you are. The game is called British or Bullshit. Okay? So we're just going to have a little bit of fun with you.
British or bullshit.
Bullshit. Okay. So here's how it works. We're gonna throw some slang terms at you. Some are real British sayings. Others are 100% made up nonsense. Your job is to call it. Is it British or is it bullshit? Let's see if you survive the gray zone slang. All right. So I'll start. We'll start with Snagglejack.
Snagglejack. Oh, are these all southern? If they're all southern, I'll never get them.
Oh well.
You've got to use the poor people slang from the up north. No, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say real.
It is bullshit. Okay, hold. You do the top one in parentheses.
All right, naff.
Naff, yeah, that's real.
What's it mean?
It's like bad crap. It's naff.
Bad crap.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
If something's naff, it's not good.
Okay.
Like this list.
Hey, I was trying to have some fun. Okay. All right. Hold. You take the next one in not in parentheses.
I don't think I'm going to pronounce it right, but numpty.
Numpty. Yeah, that means like an idiot.
An idiot.
Yeah,
I like this.
Yeah,
kind of how I feel right
like you are when you said the wrong word.
Okay. What about twiddle knob?
That's good. I'm going to say fake.
You are correct. Rump.
What do we go on?
Pick any of
Snagglejack.
them, I guess.
What one?
Snagglejack.
I had that one of them. It's fake.
Yeah, Nick did that first.
It's actually. Oh, did we already do that one?
Yeah, you said it first.
Oh, you have it in both. That's why.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay, do the one under that one.
So what about skint?
Skint means you've got no money.
Oh, I feel it now. In Gray Zone Warfare. It's great.
Skint. That's a northern one. I'll give you that. Yeah, we use that one.
Okay, all right.
That's good.
All right,
That's
all right. Talking the mick. Or taking the mick.
Taking the mick. Yeah, it's like taking the piss. Somebody's.
I'm gonna take me a mink.
So taking the mick. It comes from, for some reason, taking the Michael. I don't know why it's Michael, but it's taking the piss. It's like I'm making fun of you, or I'm having a joke with you. So if you say, or like you might go, oh, I'm only joking. I might go, I'm just taking the piss. So it's taking the mick.
That's funny.
I don't know why, but that's what it is.
That cracks me up. Okay, now we got a little accent challenge here, so I'm actually gonna channel Hold and Rump for this because I think I can nail it, but I want you two and TG can rate this. I want you guys to say contact left, bruv, and then TG can rate you and see how it goes. So Hold, why don't you kick it off?
All right. Contact left, bro.
Awful. That's just okay.
Okay. All right. Come on, Rump. Let's hear it.
Contact left, bruv.
that was a little Welsh in there, but yeah, okay.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, fine. Contact left, bruv.
I think number one's got it. The first one's got it there. Like,
okay, I'll give it to him. Holt does have
Holt's
some
got it,
overseas roots, so
Yeah.
he's got some Scottish roots in him.
Yep, I think he's the winner.
My bonus question for you is: if you had to create a full UK themed loadout in GZW, from gear to snacks, like we're just thinking UK themed, just because we're playing around with it, what would it be?
Do I have to use items in the game, or can I wish list?
Anything.
Just do whatever.
I'd go for a berry. Like that's
berry?
a berry. That's what our troops wear on the
That
head.
was a berry.
A berry. You know, you have the green berets. You know, you have the hat.
A beret.
Beret.
Oh, a beret.
Yeah,
Okay.
beret. I'd use so our soldiers wear a beret in like in camp, and so I'd try to go with a beret, keep it military. Union Jack face mask.
Okay. All right.
I'd go for a Lee-Enfield Smalley rifle, because I've got a bit of a thing for bolt actions.
Nice. Kind of snacks. Kind of.
Well, you'd have to have a
If you say sausage roll.
sausage roll. Maybe okay. Just for you, I'd put a pasty in there. Yep. pasty. Maybe some tinned fish and chips.
Okay, all right.
Canned fish and chips. Yep. Fish and chip rations.
That's funny.
I don't particularly like tea, but I'll say a flask of coffee. So I'll say a flask of coffee, and then again, I don't drink, but I'll say a pint of lager as well. That seems pretty British.
Seems pretty British.
And then what else? A pack of we'll do a packet of custard cream biscuits for on the heli ride home.
While you're just going through Lemang. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. Altair, thanks again for joining us. The work you and the rest of the community team do really does bring life to this games in ways no patch ever could. Before we go, where can people find you if they want to follow events or get involved in the community? Plug your socials or whatever you want to plug.
So we have a Twitter or an X, which is at GCW Events, which I kind of neglect, which I'll have to pick up more on. But we're there. We have Twitch and YouTube, which are at the same GCW Events. We have a website, which is gcwevents.com. You can find all the latest news, a breakdown of all of our modes, which we call scenarios, a little bit about us, about the team, our background. You can see the weekly screenshot and clip winners there. Links to things like our black market and our bounty systems and all that kind of thing. That's there. In Discord, we have a events news channel within the news section of the official Discord, where any updates also get posted there. You can sign up to get a ping if you want. We have at the bottom of the Discord, we have a whole events section. We have an events chat and voice and bits and pieces like that, and the competitions we run all live in there. So there's multiple ways you can DM me, you can ping me in any channel in the official Discord. You can go into any of those things I mentioned before. Ping any other GMs, Ty or Infinity SWAT. They'll help out if you want to find out how to join an event or pitch an idea or find out what's coming. Another person I'd like to thank is Virtual Yoda, who most people probably know in the Discord. He's a Discord mod, but he's all over the tech side of things. He helped build our website. He's helped come up, structure events and come up with ideas on behind closed doors. He's involved in nearly every aspect of the community, and not many people know that. So I know he hates being shouted at, but he deserves a shout out. He deserves
Yoda. This is your shout out, man. We all thank you. Yoda, do you hear your name?
So he's going to kill me for that, but he deserves it. It needs to happen. Thank you very much to him as well. So there's multiple ways to reach out. You can whatever suits you really.
That's the
Nice.
Gray Zone
That's awesome.
Warfare official Discord that TG is talking about. You can message TG on Discord. It's TGxAltair. It's TGxAltair. Guys, as always, this has been High Proof Lounge. I'm Nick. This is Holdfast and Rump Dump, and we'll catch you around Lemang. Don't forget to like, follow, and remember, every move matters.